Two members of the squad and President Trump each hold rallies in the Bronx. Guess who has the better turnout? Thousands literally came out for President Trump in the South Bronx last month, whereas this past weekend, AOC and Jamal Bowman could hardly scrape together a few dozen, maybe a few hundred or so people. Whatever the exact numbers are, our eyes can clearly see the giant disparity. Their turnout was so bad you'd think it was Joe Biden making a campaign stop in New York. Or wait, isn't that what the Biden administration is calling a cheap fake these days? Totally real, raw, unedited videos that they say leaves viewers with a false impression, which can only be rectified by the valiant truth tellers in our media, carefully curating and splicing together that footage and telling their viewers what they should think about it. So when it comes to these cheap fakes, which is just a code word for unflattering videos that the media doesn't want you to see, allow me to show you some unedited videos from this past weekend of really the vulgar way in which these two squad members conducted themselves. So here's AOC trying to pump up the tiny crowd with crass rap music. And if you thought that was unbecoming of a sitting member of the U.S. Congress, just wait until you hear Bowman when he took to the stage to save his failing re-election bid.
We're going to show them who the we are. We're going to show them who the we are. Bowman, Bowman.
According to roll call today, Bowman is viewed as the most vulnerable House member on the ballot. He's largely facing internal criticism from within his own party over his stance against Israel. Joining us now to discuss is Luke Ball, the CEO of Mason Borough Strategies. Luke, thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me. That video is what happens when you mix Red Bull and Monster. Don't mix drinks, and especially energy drinks at political rallies.
Ain't that the truth? So, I mean, Trump outdid the squad, or at least two members of the squad, in the Bronx, in New York, the bluest of blue areas. I mean, that's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, I was at that Bronx rally for President Trump, and he didn't have to roid rage at the crowd. He just went up there and talked about policies that were winning for all Americans, talked about the economy, talked about immigration, talked about inflation. And I walked around and actually spoke to some of those rally goers there because the Democrats were claiming they were being bussed in from all over the place. And by and large, these folks were people who had been in the Bronx their entire lives, and an overwhelming majority of them were immigrants who had come in the right way years ago and were sick of seeing the immigration system basically taken and run roughshod over by the Democrats just to create an entirely new voting bloc for them. And so they were encouraged to see President Trump standing up for them, the forgotten men and women of America. It's not as the Democrats claim. It's not a fake. It's not a fraud. These are real life voters. They were signing up, registering voters at that rally, and they were people who had never voted before but had come out to see Donald Trump, were enthused and energized for them. The reason Jamal Bowman is fighting for his political life right now is because he took the side of Hamas protesters and frankly Hamas itself and against the state of Israel. And the Jewish community was like, this is insensitive. It is insane. It is disgusting. That is why he's fighting for his political life. It's not that he's being attacked by billionaires or millionaires or things of that nature. It is because he came out and gave an anti-Semitic rant and also came against Israel time and time again. And I believe that the people of his district are tired of that. They're tired of progressive talking points running over their entire interests there in the Bronx and elsewhere. So it's going to be very interesting in the next few hours to see exactly what happens to Jamal Bowman. But if he can't have his life as a member of Congress, perhaps he can be somebody like a GMC representative or someone who's repping for Red Bull.